Hello and welcome to another board game review from Fudce. Last time out I reviewed Coda 9 from ZMan Games, and this time it's Contagion, again from ZMan Games. I promise I'm not sponsored by them. Although, to be honest, next week's game is also from ZMan Games, so it is just a matter of coincidence that it's from them. Nothing untoward, I guarantee. You think I'm big enough to get sponsored by him yet? Anyway, Contagion. It's a game from that well-known game series, Pandemic. But it's a different type of game because, as the front of the box does say, you are a disease. There is no cure. Yeah, means we win the game. Well, I think so. Okay, so let's flip the game over and see what it says. Here we are, Contagion. You are a disease, there is no cure. For too long has the human race assaulted diseases. For too long has mankind found cures and other means to eradicate them from the planet. Now the diseases are fighting back and humanity doesn't stand a chance. Will you be the disease to exterminate humanity? Mutate your disease. Infect cities all around the world. The deadliest disease will win the game. As you can probably guess from that, it is a up to 4-player game. It's actually 2 to 5 player actually from the looks of it. Where rather than playing as the brave doctors and scientists travelling the globe trying to eradicate the disease, you are the disease. And by playing the game, you and your opponents play against each other to try and eradicate more people than anybody else. Unlike the other Pandemic games, this one is competitive, which means it's a lot more your standard type of board game rather than the normal Pandemic style board game where you're trying to cooperate to beat the game. This time, you and your opponents are playing against each other against the game. Let's open board game and see what we can see. Again, as we've come to expect from ZMan, it's the same rigid box. Oh, it's black interior as well, which is nice to see. And we've got the basic game rules. This one is a bit of a bigger book than the last one. 8 pages, I believe. Yep, 8 pages. Explain how you actually play the game. You also got a score marker between 1 and 50 points. Literally, that's all it is. Just a piece of card with numbers 1 to 50 written on it. And if you've been looking ahead, you can see the interesting thing about this game: the counters. We'll use red because it shows up nicer on camera. Your counters come in a little petri dish, and you get your individual little cube tokens. Your little circle for the board there, and a little petri dish to store them in. And I've just thrown those all over the place. Sorry, headphone users. And you get 5 colours. You got red, you get purple, you get yellow, you get black. Not easy to see on my black desk here. And you got blue. And each player also has a little colour coordinated player game board. Again, I'm going to go with the red one because it shows up nicer on the camera. So let's say you're playing as red. Here's a closer look at it. Wait for my camera to zoom in. There we are. Focus. On your turn, you may play 2 actions. It tells you how to play the game. You can draw cards based upon your incubation mutation level. You can infect a city, or mutate your disease, or pass. And each disease has 3 different stats. You start at stage 1 for each of them, and when you mutate your disease, you pay a cost and move up to the next level. You can try and infect a city. We'll get into more about that later, or draw cards. And this is a card management game. So if you're playing as red, your little petri dish goes there. You get 1 cube there, 1 cube there, and 1 cube there. And that is how your game will look. Put that to one side for now. Now, as you can see in the game deck, we got lots of decks of cards. We've got these cards. which are the city cards. These determine where you're going to be infecting. For instance, let's say you got these 3. Or more off to one side. You end up with more than 3, depends on how many players you got. And so we start off with, I'll get Essen up. Essen. Its infection number is 6. And it's got a 4 and a 2 underneath. Those are point scoring numbers. It's also got a colour, which is orange. And use one less card when advancing a mutation. Play when you want. And that's important because if you are the last person to infect a city before it gets overrun, you get the card to use. Some say play immediately, such as Manila here. Which says take an extra action, play immediately. Some say play when you want. Now the numbers are a matter as well, because when that one has 6 counters on it, it is overrun. The person to put the last counter gets a card. The person with the most counters on it scores the highest number of points, and the person with second most scores a second. There's also bonuses throughout the game when you get to certain stages for scoring mid-game, for just infecting cities. And as to how you infect cities, that is in the infection deck. These are literally just colour cards: purple, green, orange, black, blue and red. 4 different continents. I match the continents on here. And infect a city. Place these cubes based on your infection level into a new city. Discard 2 cards. Colours must match the city you want to infect. So if I want to newly infect Essen, I discard 2 orange cards. If I'm already in Essen, I only need to discard 1 orange card. However, if I've only got those 2, they can count as an orange card, because 2 cards of different colours can become 1. So I've got that in my hand: orange, green, and purple. Well, I can't infect Manila or Sydney because I haven't got any blue cards, and I've only got 3 cards. I can infect Essen because I've got an orange, and I've got those 2, which can be an orange. Which means I can infect Essen, which means I put 1 cube on Essen. Now, if your infection rate is higher, you add more cubes at a time. And the way you get your infection level higher is by mutating your disease. Discard cards needed to advance one mutation to the next level. And it tells you in between them how much it costs. For instance, increasing your infection rate from 1 to 2 costs 2 cards. Increasing your incubation rate, I'll move it there so you can see it better. Increasing your incubation rate costs 2, then 3, then 4. 1, 2, 4, 4, and so on. Resistance is an interesting ability because that comes into the 3rd deck. And these are the WHO cards. Sorry, the World Health Organization cards. And the Outbreak cards. Events. Now, you get several of these cards at random to start the game. And these determine the turns. Now, for every 3 turns, you get a World Health Organization event. These are generally okay. These are determined to kill you. For instance, event: hand washing awareness campaign. Play at the start of your turn. Everybody does that at the start of each turn. Discard 2 Contagion cards from your hand. Not that good because you discard those on Contagion cards. Also, a new city appears to infect. That one. Sanitation workers on strike. Use any colour when infecting cities you're currently in. So, that removes the need for playing a white colour. Also, skull and crossbones. If you get 2 skull and crossbones, you get a mini scoring round. We'll get more about that later. And you get more of these cards. And you get more of these cards. These are even worse because, here we are. Event: a cure is found. Player will start with a turn. Again, everybody does these events at the start of each round. And remove 4 disease cubes from any cities you're currently infecting. Well, if you've only got 1 disease cube, you're going to have to remove it. But if you've got 4 disease cubes, you have to remove all of them. That's where resistance comes into play. Because anything which causes you to do something and remove something, or reduce something, you can resist that number of it. For instance, I've got a resistance of 1 at the moment. So if I'm forced to remove 4 disease cubes by lowering my resistance down to 0, I can resist 1 point of it. If it was up there, I could still only resist it once, but I could resist 4. And so that's how resistance works. You use your resistance and push it down 1 level to try and resist the effects of certain cards. Now, I did mention halfway through a game we get a little scoring thing. And I always forget exactly how this works on this. Here we are, death toll scoring. When we reveal 1 card of the event deck at the beginning of each round, when a second or 4th or 6th skull crossbones appear on an event card, score all infected cities immediately. A player with most of these cubes scores the lowest number of a card. If tied, player who affected it first, as high up on the card, wins. So, in death toll scoring, only you score the lowest number, and the person with the most only scores. Now, you have a game when the last World Health Organization card is revealed, or there's only 2 cities left. So you can either infect all the cities, or the World Health Organization determine that the world is doomed and end the game. You end with the last scoring. For death toll, and also for eradication and all that sort of stuff. And you also score for the cumulative total of each mutation level you have. So you score those many points. And the person with the most points wins. And so that is Pandemic Contagion. It's quite a fun game, actually. It's got a nice little role playability with it, with its little petri dishes and the little disease counters. I mean, that was a nice touch. It's the type of thing you'd only get in a Kickstarter game these days. And I suppose ZMan, who's got enough money, may know that this will sell because it's Pandemic. Pandemic games do sell in pretty decent numbers. But it's a nice touch. It's nice to have it rather than just little cheap tokens, which you get sometimes. Would I recommend this game? Oh, definitely. If you're a fan of Pandemic series of games, it's a very different game than Pandemic because it's competitive rather than cooperative. They have actually released several other Pandemic games recently, like Pandemic The Cure, which I'll review at some point. I'm going to try and add in some non-ZMan games before I do that, though. It's a quick... I mean, the box actually says 30 minutes. I always say double that if you're first time playing it. And you get close to 30 minutes after about the 4th or 5th time playing it. Depends how quickly you get through a game. But definitely, go out and buy it. It's a good game to play. It does come in a very small box. It's just... If you know game boxes, it's Munchkin sized. If you enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe, but maybe suggest another board game you want me to review. If I've got a board game, or for somebody I know who's got a board game, which, to be honest, is highly likely given our group of friends. I will see whether or not I can review it for you. Join me again next time. It's another ZMan game next time. Very much different to Pandemic, but again, the world is at threat. Again, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Remember to like and subscribe for more. And bye bye.